we have got the number one person here in December, and I was able to get him and get a conversation going with him. You know, I was just so fortunate. I've known the man for right at 74 years, and he has been quite a fella, and he's always been good to me, you know, and just a whole lot of fun also. And so I would like to sit here and talk a little bit about Santa Claus and ask him some questions. I had a lot of people that they sent in questions because several of them, they knew that I was going to be interviewing Santa Claus today. And so they sent in a whole lot of questions because they were wanting to know, you know, about Santa. You know, so let me read you some of the questions. And then, Santa, I would like for you to answer these questions if you can, please, sir.
I'll do my best, Larry.
What's your favorite kind of cookie?
It used to be a snickerdoodle, but I've kind of moved over to a fresh ginger man with raisin eyes, nose, and buttons on it, you know, and you put it in your pocket. It'll last you a couple of weeks.
I'll remember that. I surely will. You know, and another one, you know, people wanted to know, Santa, how old are you?
Oh, Larry, that's an easy one. I'm as old as time. You know, I've been doing the Santa business here a long time, but before I started, there were people out there that were always giving and helping and sharing what they could, and I kind of picked up on that and ran with it.
Well, you've done a good job. I can tell you that for sure. And another one that they were asking is, how do reindeer fly?
Well, I could give you a scientific answer here, and but as far as I'm concerned, I put a little helium in their feed. Now, that's between me and you, okay? And I don't want you to pass that around because helium's getting a little scarce these days, you know, and I got a lot of years to go.
That's true. That is very, very true. You know, and then now you can tell me, and we won't really be talking about anybody, but who's your favorite reindeer?
Well, you know, it kind of comes and goes depending upon their demeanor. But right now, my favorite reindeer is Dasher. Dasher is a great reindeer. He's got a great personality. He's strong. And he's got a lovely wife, and her name is Dora. And, you know, during the season, Dora and Dasher got into this little side business where they were delivering food. And they got my permission and stuff. And they started calling it Dora Dasher. And then they went to some advertising agency, and they came up with DoorDash. And so that's what they're doing now when they're not delivering gifts with me. They got this DoorDash business working. What you think about that?
Oh my God, I was wondering where that came from, and I mean that's, you know, and DoorDash pretty good business that they got going on right now, you know, and so that's good. I did not know that's where that came from.
Yeah.
You know, and also a lot of people, they ask, you know, what's your favorite Christmas memory?
Oh, that goes way back. You know, when I was growing up as a young man, my father was a baker, and we lived in a small village, and he baked every Christmas. He baked this special Christmas bread, and he'd make enough. We'd load up the sleigh with one reindeer and go through the village and drop off one loaf to every house, whether they were rich or whether they were poor. And I liked the way that made me feel. It was like, you know, a little bit of giving. It didn't take a lot, and people were always really appreciative of someone knocking on their door Christmas Eve and dropping off something to have the next morning.
You know, and that's a great gift, Santa, you know, because everybody likes to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And usually, you know, the bread is a staple, you know, within the family.
Put a little high-fat reindeer butter on that piece of bread, and it is mighty tasty.
It's got to be. That's exactly right. Another thing they've been asking, you know, which is a good question. How do you fit down chimneys?
In the old days, Larry's pretty easy. It was kind of up and down thing, straight shot into the house and out. And here lately, everything's changed up a bit. So I started yoga. And yoga is the answer to that question. So remember now I can get into teeny tiny cracks and move around and get in and out. Mrs. Claus likes to go to yoga class with me, as a matter of fact.
Well, matter of fact, makes you healthy and makes you very limber, boys. That is the truth. You know, what's Mrs. Claus' favorite holiday recipe? Because I know she cooks during this period.
Oh, she's busy with them elves, and some of her family come up here and hang out with us too. And you know, it's just a matter of what mood she's in. Some years she'll do Tex-Mex, and some years she'll, you know, she's big on the tamales. She loves tamales, 3 or 4 different kinds. She loves that green sauce. But Mrs. Claus's recipes are so wide and varied. You know, if we happen upon a moose that's it needs to be, you know, sometimes I'll bring home a piece of moose, and she loves that. She'll make what do you call it? Pulled moose sandwiches. Pretty good stuff.
Have a moose sandwich there. That's all right. I don't think I've ever had moose, for sure.
Oh, it's very lean, Larry. Very, very lean. Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you do when somebody doesn't believe in you, Santa?
Well, now, Larry, you know who you're talking about. You're talking about teenagers.
Yeah.
And I've kind of gotten used to the fact that there's a cycle of life, and once somebody has, you know, torn the veil of sin off a young individual's eyes, and they become a teenager and they don't believe anymore, what I find is that a lot of these teenagers grow up to be adults with 2 or 3 kids, and they kind of reintroduce themselves back into that Christmas spirit. So I cut them some slack, because, you know, you just can't let that go.
No, you can't. And I agree with you on that. And I know you do during that period there, you know, you kind of, you say, it ain't no Santa, you know, but then you just start realizing, you know, as you grow, well, there really is a Santa.
Somebody reaches out and touches them, and all of a sudden that spirit comes flying back into them. And it's not like they left me. They were just on vacation.
There you go. That's exactly right. And this is a good one that somebody asked. You know, what's the best gift you've ever given someone? That's a good question.
Oh, that's an easy one, though. You know, there's a lot of people out there that need a new heart or a new lung or kidney or liver. And I try to do my best to make that happen, because then there's people in need for the gift of life. That's an easy thing for me to pull off. And you know, once somebody donates to another person, they're kind of tied to them for the rest of their life. That's a gift that keeps on giving.
Boy, that is the truth. I know on the back of my driver's license, you know, I donate. I got a lot of good parts.
Yeah.
You know, and by God, they can harvest them, you know, when I happen to exit out of here, you know, for sure. You know, what makes you the happiest about Christmas? Because everybody's happy at Christmas.
Everybody. I think what I'm happiest about is, you know, 10 days around the holidays, typically, people are a lot more thoughtful and more understanding, and they seem to pack their patience. They're a lot more giving to each other. And that's something that just tickles me to death, because I live my life like it's an everyday thing. This is how I live my life. And when I see humanity adopting themselves to that for that short 10 days, I only wish that we could do it 365 days a year instead of just the days around the holidays. Life would be a lot easier and lot gentler and less stressful or anxiety filled if we just kind of adopt that same behavior year round.
Man, I'm telling you, that's a good comment, Santa, for sure on that, you know. And how do you prepare? This is another good question. How do you prepare for Christmas Eve?
Oh, Larry, we're in the middle of that mess right now, and it is just chaos here. You know, you got these late orders coming in, and these kids finally decide what they want. And, you know, and right now we're kind of in the logistics side of it. We're loading up the sleigh, and that's a big thing. And, you know, we got that naughty nice list that we got to check, make sure everybody's on it or off of it. And I think I remember, was it weren't you on that naughty list back in 1961? I think it was 1961. You asked for a bicycle that year. And, I'm sorry, you didn't get it, but you got it in 1962. And I guess that's because you turned your act around there in 1961.
You're exactly right, man. I'm telling you, how you knew that, I don't know, but boy, I'm telling you, I did straighten up the next year. Well, I got some grandbabies and some great grandbabies.
Oh, they're on that good list. They're on that mighty nice list this year. And your granddaughters, Riley and Allie, they don't get better than that. You better keep your eye on them girls.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, that's exactly right. I think that I have got a couple more questions here. And here's a real good one. How do you keep track of who is naughty and who is nice?
Well, back in the old days, I used to have me a network in almost every little town, every little burg, every little village. And there was, back then, we as human beings, we loved to gossip. So I just kept somebody on the ground all over the place, writing down names and what they'd done and so on. And, as time has gone on and technology has caught up, I met this woman named Alexa, and Alexa hears everything. It's amazing to me. But that's where my database is coming from now.
So you're tied in directly to Alexa.
Yes, sir. She and I work very close together. You'd be amazed what that woman hears when you least expect it.
Oh, I agree with that, because I've talked about something to someone else, not on the phone, and next 2 or 3 days, I get that in the mail.
Larry, I was having an issue with Rudolph and his red nose. We need to replace part of the parts in his nose. And I was making some comment, and 2 days later, I got a package from Amazon. I don't know what the heck's going on, but, she's listening.
Boy, that is the truth. It really is. Well, and I have a question like that. This would be coming from me. Santa, how do we help you spread the holiday cheer like you do? I mean, how can we help fill in and help you do that?
Well, Larry, I've always thought that it takes a positive attitude and an open mind and patience. We're human, and we are all have our faults and our idiosyncrasies. But if you scale back the anxiety, just take a deep breath and say, what can I do to help? What do you need that would make it better for your life? Now, I can't promise you everything, but just the fact that another human being would reach out to another human being in distress and try and bridge that gap, that's all I need, because I can pick up the rest of those and run with it.
So that's good advice. It really is, Santa. And I know you've only got a few days before you blast off, but I was very, very fortunate, and I'm so tickled I was able to talk to you in this short period of time and get a hold of you. Now I got your number, and I can text you direct, so that worked out well.
Calls coming, Larry. Keep them calls coming.
But no, I'm telling you right now, Santa, we are just so tickled to have you on the podcast, and I know you're a busy man, and I know you got all your elves busy, and the reindeers are getting all charged up and ready to go, and then get off and blast out, and then I know you are in for a well-deserved rest. So what will you be doing on your rest when all this is over?
Oh, Larry, that's an easy question. Pop? Yes, that's what Santa. Hold on, Larry. I got a little example here. I want you to check out. This is what Santa's going to look like in January. I just want you to know. There you go. That's what I'll be wearing until February 1st, and we get back to it. Okay?
All right. Well, that'll be good. Well, you deserve the rest. You surely do. Well, Santa, everybody loves you. They're always tickled to death to see you. And I hear again, I just really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show and asking and answering the questions. Thank you.
Anytime, Larry, anytime you need anything, you can always send me a text or an email or even a card. I'll read everything I get.
All right, Santa. Thank you very much.
Have a good afternoon, Larry.